Report this morning for some of the more than 5 million Americans diagnosed with coronavirus, symptoms can linger for months and months. In the medical community, they are known as the Longhaulers, and they are living a nightmare. Chief Medical Correspondent Dr. Sanjay Gupta spoke to one of the patients and his doctor to find out more.
4 months later, my stomach is not what it used to be.
I've been treated as COVID for 97 days. I'm pretty much in the throes of it.
They are known as Longhaulers, diagnosed with COVID-19, but months later, still experiencing symptoms.
It's everything from blood clots, seizures, tremors. I have a lot of neuropathy. I don't have control pretty much of the left side of my face, and some issues with memory loss.
50-year-old Michael Regan had always been on the go, rock climbing, running, scuba diving, and then just like that, everything changed.
When did you first feel sick?
Well, on March 22nd, which was a Sunday, I woke up in the morning. I was unable to catch my breath. I went into the bathroom and I coughed up blood.
Regan ended up the same day at Lenox Hill Hospital in New York City. At the time, in the spring, it was the epicenter of the U.S. coronavirus pandemic.
I remember seeing stretchers come in with lots of people gasping for breath.
His symptoms, dire.
My blood pressure was out of control. It was 200 over 100 and something. My heart rate got as high as almost 200 beats a minute, and I was gasping for air.
Fortunately, after 5 days, Regan began breathing more easily with the help of medications. He never went on a ventilator, but he spent the next 2 months in and out of the hospital.
We realized that the patients don't really fall into the black and white, where some patients are sick and then they get healthy again, and then some patients are sick and then they die.
Dr. Zijin Chin is medical director of the Center for Post-COVID Care for the Mount Sinai Health System, a first of its kind in the country, focusing on recovery. For the first several months, doctors have been just trying to figure out this disease, but now the long-term effects are also proving equally mysterious.
If you have shortness of breath, we're looking to see whether we see something on CAT scan, or we see something through pulmonary function testing to see that there's specific organ damage. And the reason we break this down is because we need to look at it physically to see what the virus actually does to your organs physically.
The CDC estimates 35% of adults are not back to normal 2 to 3 weeks after testing positive, still experiencing difficulties breathing, nerve pain, or even memory loss and brain fog. A study of 143 Italian patients found that 87% of them reported having at least one lingering effect 60 days after the onset of their first symptom.
Is there some way of predicting who is more likely to have these persistent symptoms?
I would presume that if you had a pre-existing condition, that the infection with the virus can worsen that condition. But again, we're also seeing patients who were previously healthy, but their symptoms have also persisted throughout their illness and beyond.
It's truly a medical mystery that Dr. Chin and Michael Regan hope is solved.
When I was in the throes of fighting COVID, I was only focused on breathing. I was scared to go to sleep because I would stop breathing. It wasn't until that, I was generally doing better that I started to notice a lot of the other symptoms. And I know other people must feel the same.
We love the desert Southwest and all its inhabitants. From early in the morning to late at night, we're here to make sure officials are held accountable, that facts are verified before they're delivered. And when times get tough, News 11 gets tougher to make sure you have the ability to make an informed decision. Day in and day out, stick with News 11, where news comes first. On air and online at kyma.com.